Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kisha. I blog at kjaggers.com. That link is below. I would love it if you visited. At the top there is some links. They have drop down boxes, so you should be able to find what you're looking for over there relatively easy, and there's also, a search area where you can type stuff in. So today I am back with a new reflecting video for January 2016. I can't believe we're in the new year. I have some notes. I am casual today. I'm probably casual every day to many of you. And I really wanted to do some questions and answers, so I think I'm going to include some of those in, because looking back on January, there's not a ton to go over. So I am going to put some question and answers right in this video, so stay tuned. I have no idea how long it will be, but hopefully not too long. So in January 2016, there's been less videos from me, and that's because of a few things. I was having major camera issues. I mean, I do have lots of cameras. I have this camera, I have this camera, I have another camera, I have cameras, but I don't like vlogging with the ones I just shared with you. So I've got a new camera, which is definitely going to make things easier for me. I also was trying to focus on our home, doing the Love the Home You Have challenge, the 31-day challenge, which we'll talk more about in a few minutes, and trying to get back into a routine. Coming out of the holidays, getting back to normal life was important. Well, I did really good with that the first few weeks, and then I started feeling real bad. I chipped a tooth back in here. It swelled up my face. I had major issues. It hurt into my ear, so I had to have that taken care of. And I've been not feeling good, and I took a lot of aspirin to help with that, and I had to go to the dentist and get some stuff done. It's just been a little bit harder in January, and I didn't want it to be harder, but the camera, I knew my camera was having issues, but it finally just was like the touchscreen would not work, and I need to send it off to Sony, but it's still a wonderful camera, and I got just another Sony Handycam. So I really wanted to focus on getting things normal. I wanted the kids back into routine. I wanted to spend some more time with my husband, and I think I've been managing that halfway decent, not as good as I should. Regarding our kids, they are getting along much, much better. Zane seems to be, really thriving. He has moments, obviously, where he misses his mom or his brothers and sisters, and we talk about it. And I know so many of you guys think probably I hate his mom. It's nowhere even near that. I text his mom. I think her punishment has been not having her kids, and I don't think it's up to me to punish her anymore. I'm not here to judge anything with her. I'm just here to help take care of her child. And so we text. She talks to Zane. I'm allowed to talk about all that now, but it's still very private. Zane don't want details out there. I don't blame him. And so the relationship is still going in that direction with his mom, and that's a good thing. Zane is an easy child. He's kind of like Brittany. They're kind of on the same level. I would say Brittany's probably a little more mature, but, she's a girl and she's a year older, so obviously she is going to be most likely more mature. But Jackson is still her wild child. This month, I would say last month in January, Jackson is 13. Jackson turned 13 in November. Zane turned 13 I get all my kids' birthdays messed up. Jackson turned 13 in October. Zane turned 13 in November. Jackson and Brittany turned 14 in November, and Laura, our oldest, I think turned 26 in October. So there's birthdays all over through October and November, but they have just really, really been doing better. And Brittany, like I said, she's a little more mature, and I wish the boys would catch up. But I'm sorry, I get sidetracked sometimes, but through the month of January with Jackson, his voice changed. He has a much deeper voice, and I wasn't expecting it just to like show up like that one morning. And now in our home, no matter what room or what floor Jackson is in, like if he's upstairs all the way back at the back of the house and I'm at the opposite side downstairs, I can still hear him. He is so loud just in his tone and his laughter. And so we've kind of went back to indoor voices, and I've never raised teenage boys before, so I'm kind of new to it all, but their voices are changing, especially Jackson's. They're getting better grades, which, you know, I'm happy about. Jackson had a D that he needs to bring up, but they are doing both better. And I love that they're getting along. I love that they're playing outside more. I love that they're talking about homework, and they're really starting to bond. And, you know, so many of you guys told me not to force it, that if it would happen naturally, and it seems to be happening. Now, there are days when Jackson gets on Zane's nerves and vice versa, and I'm sure when we throw Brittany into the mix, she will be right there, you know, as well. But they seem to be doing better, and I couldn't be happier about that. So now about the pets, Cooper, and I'm sorry for shaking the table, I hit it with my knee. Cooper is, you know, Cooper has been having trouble. He's 7 years old, and he's a golden retriever. He packed on the weight after we got him fixed, which was a couple years ago, I think. He, before that, was having seizures, and we switched up his food, and we switched up his bowls. We tried to incorporate a little more exercise. We put him on meds. Now he is completely off the meds. He is seizure free, but he's still a little bit heavy. So I do try to watch what I feed him, but I hate taking things away that he likes, and I hate not being able to give him a snack. And I put him on the treadmill, and so many people really enjoyed seeing Cooper on the treadmill, and then there's another group of people who think I should be out walking the dog, and they're right. I probably should be. I just don't care for the neighborhood. If I lived in the woods where I could go hiking, or I could go down a long country road without seeing cars and seeing, you know, other people, I would probably do a lot more walking. But being that it's winter, being that it's been winter, being that it's wet and nasty out, and you know, even the pavement is hard for your dogs if you're walking them on pavement all the time. Our treadmill has a built-in cushion effect, and you can switch it up where it's really cushiony to kind of walk on, or it's harder. For Cooper and his hips, we make it pretty cushiony. So he is doing better. And I know some of you guys asked for a video, like how to teach your dog to walk on a treadmill. And maybe I'll do that for you guys, because it doesn't matter what anybody else says. If you are somebody with either a highly active dog who needs exercise, who needs to get that out of their system because they're tearing stuff up or they're going crazy, you know, jumping on people, and they, you know, treadmills really do help. Or if you're somebody who's disabled or somebody who just doesn't want to get outside and walk, it's a great idea. And so many of us have treadmills in our home, and Cooper does really good on it. So just let me know if that video is something you want to see, and just let me know in the comments, and I'll do my best to get it up sometime in the future. Now, moving on to me. Obviously, I had that cracked tooth, and I kind of swelled up a little bit. Swelling seems to be down. I don't seem to have any, and so I'm feeling better in that regard. My sleep is still all over the place. Sometimes I get 2 to 3 hours a night. Sometimes I get 9 hours. Sometimes I get 5. It has just varied. Yes, I'm still taking Advil PM because of the aches and not being able to sleep. And some other nights when I'm not like aching as much, I will just take some melatonin. But I'm just not sleeping that good, and it's something I definitely want to work on through the month of February, no doubt. Now, smoking. Let's talk about me smoking. I have been a smoker since I was 17 years old, and it's nothing I talk about online. It's nothing that I'm proud about. I have ignored questions about it because I know there's younger kids that watch. I know it's a bad example to my own children. My husband also smokes. My sister-in-law smokes. My dad used to smoke. He did quit. You know, it has definitely been a challenge for me, and I'll get back to the smoking in just a minute, but let's get on to some hate websites, because the two kind of go hand in hand in this regard. Many of you probably know there's sites dedicated to hating YouTubers, to hating bloggers, to hating me. And, you know, for the longest time, it really did bother me. It doesn't bother me near as much anymore. And on one of those hate sites, somebody had pointed out that I was out of breath, which some of you guys have as well, but somebody mentioned that smoking makes you tired. I never knew that, and I've been a smoker all of my life. So I researched it thanks to somebody on that hate website, and they were right. It's like, you know, the oxygen and all of this stuff that when you're 17 and you're starting a bad habit, you really don't think about. I talked to my oldest daughter about it, and I mean, I just was really amazed because I didn't know that could be contributing to me feeling so tired. Obviously, out of breath, yes. I thought that was probably from me gaining a little bit of weight and the smoking combined, which it probably both is, but I didn't really realize. Now, I know, you know, lung cancer, and I know all this other stuff, but I really honestly did not know it made me tired. So, with that, I decided that it was time to get back to taking Chantrix, and this is what I've been doing. See the pills? And I don't like pills at all. I feel like they like pile up right here in my throat. They just sit there. I have to eat something to like push it down. But, and I'm going to show you another pill even though I don't like pills. Chantrix has so many side effects, and I know it does. I've read about them. I know that the dreams are wild. I've taken it before, and I quit for like 3 months, and it was right when Scott and I moved into the cabin, and it was many years ago, and he kept smoking around me, and so it was really hard to quit, and I went back to smoking. So now I'm on the Chantrix, and Chantrix gives me wild dreams, probably some of the reason I'm not sleeping as well, but it also makes me like really sick. I thought I was pregnant the first time because I was throwing up so much. This time, we are not going to fight that, and I have Finnegan. And if I feel like I'm getting sick from the Chantrix, I take one of these. It does make me a little loopy, and it does make me a little groggy, and if I get on camera, I might look high. This actually causes my best friend to like pass straight out, the Finnegan, and the two together have been working really well for me. And I will go into that when I'll go into that more when I feel like I have beat it. And I don't feel like I've beat it yet. But when I have beat it, and there was a kitty cat somewhere. Where's she at? Gabby! I think she's right there. But I feel like that when I beat it, I'll come back. I'll tell you what really worked for me. My other sister-in-law, Kevin's brother's wife, she is wearing like a patch. And I don't wear the patch. But it might be another alternative. I don't know. So that's about it on me. For our weather here in South Carolina, we had snow for 2 or 3 days. The kids fell in love with it. Zane had never really been in snow before, so he had, bundled up, and he went outside, and they played for 2 or 3 days, and it was amazing. Everything in our city kind of just like stopped because we're not used to getting a lot of snow around here, and it was really fun. And we did the hot cocoa, and I didn't video a lot, but we definitely had fun. And Scott took them over to the golf course. Like, there's not a lot of hills, and the hill that was right here, these neighbors who don't like me and I don't like them yelled at our kids to go down to a different part of the yard. And I was a little upset about it, but they did have people, I guess, coming in their driveway, and they didn't like that because they had like a steep driveway. I wish people would have just known the house next to them is basically vacant and they could have used that driveway. But we didn't want to upset anybody or anything, and they were using the street as well. But the golf course was so much fun. Scott, grew up on golf courses, and I really didn't, so they are not the first thing that comes to mind for me on you know, most especially on a winter day. So they had so much fun over there, and I'm glad you guys enjoyed that footage in the vlog because I read your comments, and I'm glad a lot of you like to see it. Let's see. Okay, so another thing that happened in January, my mom started redoing this piano for me. She found this piano. It was a older piano, and I always wanted a piano, and we started to redo it. And I say we because she made me help. Like, she picked out fabric, she did all this, and she picked out paint and all kinds of stuff, like tons of phone calls, like what color hinges, and do you like this paint, do you like this trim, and all kinds of stuff. And she went to fix one of the broken keys, and she thought it would just be a little bit of money, but it's going to be outrageous to fix. So last night my mom calls me. I thought she had had one too many margaritas, and said, I'm going to tear up your piano and throw it away. I was like, what's going on? And she is going to buy me a new piano whenever we move up to Indiana. So, you know what? Whenever we get settled in, she will do that because, you know, it's a very old piano, and, you know, we don't know that much about pianos, but my mom took on this big task. I hate that she's already spent a ton of money and time, but she had a lot of fun. She learned a lot, she said. But if one of the strings breaks, it's thousands to fix on this old piano. So we are halting that project, and I think she'll just get me a new one sooner or later. So I'm not too worried about that. So for the month of February, no Mountain Dew for me. I am doing my very best to get rid of that. I'm not saying I'm not going to drink a Coke, or I'm not going to have a root beer, or I don't drink Sprite and I don't drink Dr. Pepper, but I might drink a Mountain Dew like at a restaurant or something if they happen to carry like Pepsi products. But I don't want the Mountain Dew anymore, and I just had to like do mind over matter. So, matter. Mind over matter? Mind over matter. Mind over matter, I think. Obviously, I'm feeling better if you can't tell. So, also with my family, my sister-in-law had surgery, and she's been trying to recuperate, and it's not Trina, it's my other sister-in-law, and I know so many people think about Trina, but I do have another sister-in-law. Her name is Marie. She had surgery, and she's not been feeling well, so we've been talking a lot because it's hard to be immobile at home by yourself, and it gets lonely really quick, you guys. I had that car wreck in 2000 where I broke both of my shoulders, knocked out my teeth, had a compound fracture in my ankle, broke some ribs. It was horrific. I mean, I sit here and think back to that time, and I got very depressed because I couldn't use crutches. The shoulders were broke. I couldn't walk because of my ankle, and I didn't think I was ever going to get better. And I was in downtown Clearwater at that time, and I really understand what it's like to go through something, you know, like to be bedridden at home. And even with the last car wreck, which absolutely made me put on my seatbelt. And I think that's good. I wrecked our car, and a car, like, I was driving, and a car swerved over towards me, and we would have hit if I went like this and ended up in the ditch. I was just so scared of the impact we were going to have, and I went down into a creek basically off the side of the highway. But that accident alone really woke me up. I now wear my seatbelt. I take it a little more serious. I do still video while I'm driving, but I have my seatbelt on. I have my seatbelt on all the time. Now, sometimes my husband will be a little wonky about putting his on, and I'll remind him, but we do wear our seatbelts. In the last accident, the one where I really broke a lot of ribs and stuff, I had my husband, after that accident, bought me a convertible. I wanted a Bug. This Bug came in. It was a good deal. You don't always get to pick, you know, the exact used car that you want, but this came in. It was a Bug. It was within our budget. And it was a convertible, and my husband brought it home and surprised me with it. Well, it took me forever to drive with the top down. I was scared of flying out. I was fresh out of an accident, and I just strapped on that seatbelt like crazy. So that car and the accident helped me because I was scared I'd fly out the top. Our sister or my sister-in-law Trina has helped us in so many ways through January. She's helped figure out what camera to get. She's helped us, with finances, trying to figure out, our finances are insane some months, and trying to balance things out and stuff. I'm not the best at numbers, and she's really been great at helping me. Scott has continued to work long hours. There's not a whole lot we can do about that. Also through the month of January, I know you guys don't see him as much on the vlogs. He's tired and sometimes grumpy when he gets home, and I would be too after a 12 to 14 to 16 hour day. If there's customers, they stay open. If a customer walks in like at 8 p.m. on the dot when they're supposed to be closing, they will stay, and they will stay open as long as they have customers. And that's part of the retail business, something I hate about it, but that's the way it is, at least at Scott's dealership. So he's been working a lot. Also for February, and I suspect he'll be working a lot in February and as we move on to summer. Also in February, we did get into a little spat. Well, we didn't really get into a spat in February. We got into a spat in like October and November with our neighbors. I talked about our neighbors already in the last vlog. None of us saw eye to eye on what to do with this outside cat that they had. They thought it looked good, but I saw it beat up. I saw it freezing. I mean, I could do a compilation video of Oreo and show you how he did not look well. So many times. But we got into it, and then I found out my neighbor was like writing on a hate website about us. I flipped out about it. I emailed her, and there's quite a few details that most people don't know about, and I'm not going to share them all with you guys. But it really upset me, and 64 posts to like ridicule my husband, myself, my kids, my family, my home, because I didn't like the way she treated her animals, and I just didn't think it was right. So hopefully at this point we have squashed that. I think she's pretty quiet, you guys. I've never really seen her out but a couple times, and she doesn't really see me out because I'm not out that much. I'm not very neighborly. You guys know that by now. So I have hopes for February that we can get through our bullshit and it won't be like the Hatfield and McCoys going over here. In February, I have more reviews. I have the mom up of the makeup removers, and we'll do that hopefully this weekend or sometime very soon. It's just going to be a quick one. It won't be a long video. It's makeup removers and blotting papers. I have the pressure cooker, and I just really wanted to use that pressure cooker and make sure that it works well and that I know how to cook, and I know how to use it, and I know how to steam in it, and I know how to make desserts in it, and really put it to the test before 100% recommending it. So I do think in the coming weeks we will have that review up, and I will tell you everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it with that pressure cooker, and we will do a giveaway. Also in February, I plan on getting my butt back on that treadmill, trying to get in shape a little bit more, and taking my health a little more serious, which is something I've never done. Now, for the Love the Home You Have challenge, I got behind on it when I started feeling bad, when I chipped that tooth, all of that kind of stuff, when we were home every day together, because of winter, and I am going to get right back on that. There'll be some videos coming up for the remainder 2 weeks. Stay tuned for that. I have some planner videos. Now, everybody has asked me, what's in your Midori? Lots of stuff. Lots. And I plan on doing an in-depth review on this planner and my setup and all of this stuff, but I have quite a few other videos before that's coming up. I have a new sticker haul coming up, and I have 2 or 3 more I'm waiting on that should be here this week. I have a review on the Polaroid Zip. I know it's pretty white, so you can't see it. It almost looks like angelic with, like it almost looks fuzzy to me on the viewfinder. But I have a review on this, and then I want to share some stuff that I do use in my Midori planner, or Traveler's Notebook. I still call it a planner, but that are my favorites. Because number 1, I want you to see some of the stickers that I'm going to be putting in it. Number 2, I want you to understand what the Polaroid Zip is and why I use it and how I use it. Number 3, I want you to see a lot of the products that I do love using in my Traveler's Notebook. Then we will go through my notebook. So stay tuned for all of those videos. It's going to be like, I don't know, I seen Planner Planner, I can't say it right. Like February, but Plannerberry. I can't say that. But February is going to be the month of planning, and we're going to talk about how I do it, why I fell in love with this notebook, why am I not in the Inkwell press. There's so many things I want to talk to you guys about, so I will. So let me see how long I've talked. Probably about 15 minutes at this point. My screen tells me, I guess I could look. So now let's get into some of the questions and answers. Some of these are going to be pretty in-depth and probably pretty blunt. When did I quit smoking? Don't really remember the exact date. I'm not 100% done, but I'm working on it, and I will have that for you whenever I feel confident that I have truly quit smoking. Why does Brittany live with her dad? Will she live with you in Indiana? Brittany gets to live where Brittany wants to live, and that's the way we did it with all of our kids. Jackson, if he wanted to move to his dad's today, I'd pack him up and ship him up there. It is important to us that our kids have a say-so. When I moved to Indiana, I don't think either kid will live at either house, my ex-husband's, or our house, full time. I think they will bounce. And, you know, Brittany don't want to be home at all, really. She don't want to be at her dad's. She probably certainly doesn't want to be at my house. She wants to be at her cheerleading friend's house. They all, you know, get together, and she wants to be out of the house. So I don't really anticipate Brittany being with me full time or Jackson being with me full time. We want our kids to go back and forth. Really, in some ways, I do think I will have them more than my ex-husband. He is really big into hunting. He works a lot of hours, and I think he's tired, to be honest. And I think he's ready for the break, and I think he's ready for me to move up there. He's told me a million times he's ready for me to get up there. So is Brittany. So is my sister-in-law. Everybody is supportive. We just have to save up and do it at the right time. How long have Scott and I been together? 12 or 13 years, I think, at this point. When are we moving? We are moving, hopefully in the summer. You know, it's hard to really pinpoint that, but I could pull the kids out of school right now and move. If I really wanted to, I would. And I really want to, but I don't want to put Zane in 3 schools in 1 year. It's a little much. So I think summer would be perfect. Many of you ask about my older daughter, Laura, and her blog and all that. She blogs at The Genuine Honey. I will put that down below. She is such a sweetheart, you guys. I talk to her all the time. Probably out of 7 days, I talk to her 5. And I don't know. I am just impressed with her. I just am. She's got such a sweet spirit, but I didn't turn into a bitter bitch overnight. So I don't know if she will keep that sweet spirit, you know, all the way through. But watching her, I didn't know Laura growing up. My ex-husband didn't have a lot of, or my husband, Scott, didn't have a lot of contact with her for a little while. And that's, you know, a whole other story. And I didn't get to experience Laura growing up. And I feel like I missed out on that. I really feel like Scott and his ex-wife had one of my kids, because she is amazing. And she's so, like, fresh-minded, and she's an independent thinker, and she's creative, and I get so much out of talking to her. I try to give her advice. She gives me advice at the same time. We talk about our kids. There's so much, and she is amazing, and I will leave her YouTube link below. She's pretty new to starting off. If you follow me, I'd love it if you followed her. She does a lot of hauls and a lot of different kinds of videos. Child support. Somebody asked me if I paid child support on Brittany. It's actually set up in the system still, because my ex-husband and I never went back to court to switch it, which when I move up there, I'm sure we'll get around to. I have one, he has one, we pay none to each other. Did I abandon my first son? No. My first son is older. He lives in Indiana. He had a lot of issues. At a certain point, it became dangerous for the other kids. It just really did. Even when he wasn't living with me, it became dangerous for the other kids. And it became hurtful. Do I want a relationship with him? Absolutely. I want him in our lives. I want him in our home. I don't want to push myself on him. He is, an individual with his own thoughts and feelings and opinions. And when he's ready to reach out, I am here. And that's what I'm doing. I don't want to pressure him. I don't want it to be something that he doesn't want me. If he doesn't want me around, I don't want to be in his life, making his life harder. I want him to come to me when he's ready. I love him with all of my heart. His birthday's in my calendar. I wish we talked more, and that's the truth. I've had a lot of questions about why my mom didn't raise me, and I will be very quick about this. I don't want to say too much because I know it's still very painful for my mom. We can talk about it, but it basically boils down to my mom and dad divorcing when I was 8 months old. My dad's family having a lot more money than my mom, and court for years. They went to court all of the time. It was very hard, and my mom is really quite amazing, and it was hard not having her around. So I understand, more so for Brittany and more so for Jordan. But at the same time, my mom was in my life regardless if she was in the same state or in the same house. She was always in my life. She was always active. She fought for me nonstop. I really think that part in our history made us who we are, definitely. But it's something in the past, and my mom is here. If I was to ask her, like on film, what do you have to say about all that? I still think it would be very painful for her. We can talk about it. I'm not going to share like intimate details of all of that with you guys because it's so far in the past. I'm almost 40 years old. I have a beautiful relationship with my mom, and that's what I want to focus on. I don't want to focus on the years that it was painful. And I know some of you guys would say, well, your mom wasn't there, so how can you not be there for your daughter? Well, you guys, I have been there for my daughter. And, when I went on the road with Scott, it was something that I really needed to do. And people are like, I don't know why people think this was so odd because, there are families that travel and can't be with their children. Do you think they just don't talk to their children or not involved? There were so many times I flew in for a school of function, and our kids in our family, Brittany and Jackson specifically, not Zane because he wasn't like, it was a completely different situation with that child. But with Brittany and Jackson, they had cell phones at 6 years old. So I could talk to them. And I was on the phone with my ex-husband almost daily while I was traveling because I didn't want to miss out on anything. He sent pictures. He sent videos. We were still using flip phones though. And, we would email and I would talk to the kids every single night. So, it wasn't like I abandoned Brittany. I don't think Brittany's ever had that abandonment feeling. I think she misses me just like I miss her, and she could pack up and move here, but she has a very set up kind of life. Her plans are very much in motion is what I'm trying to say. She wants to cheerlead through high school. She wants to cheerlead at U of L. She wants to go to college at U of L. She has got her plan mapped out. I didn't want to move her here. I could have forced her. I guess I could have tried to force her because honestly, the agreement that my ex-husband and I made is the kids get to pick. So I don't know if I could have 100% forced her, but I could have tried. And then she could have came here, maybe been unhappy, missed her friends that she's had, most of her life. Jackson's lived with me the majority of the time, and it just is balanced out that way, and we love our kids. I've got videos on where my kids are, why the kids aren't here, but I want you guys to know this. Not every family has two parents that are male and female with 2 to 4 kids running around the house with the perfect golden retriever running around, and life is grand. Families are different for every person. So while you sit there, well, some of you sit there and judge me over, my modern day family, if you will, or my blended family, I want you guys to know that I am happy. My kids are happy. And I will be happier when I get up and I can go to Laura's, you know, and help her with her kids, when I can be at Brittany's school functions without having to fly in, without having to drive in. All of that kind of stuff I will be happier about. But everybody in our family is happy. Like Zane is a happy little boy. Laura, you know, is a happy young adult who is thriving. So is Brittany. So I don't want you guys to have the wrong impression. Number one, you know, the stepkids is so far from the truth. Like I hate my stepkids, or, you know, I'm like, you know, the evil stepmom. That couldn't be so far from the truth. If you actually went up against Laura, you'd probably have to come through me to get to her. I adore her. Like, seriously, I really adore that girl. She is so sweet. I mean, I brag about her to, like, everybody all the time. I would help her bury a body if I had to, by the way. She is just amazing. My stepson, Zane, amazing kid. These are kids that I truly love. And Brittany and Jackson have given me so much love that I don't deserve sometimes. So much appreciation. I've talked to my kids. We don't sugarcoat anything. And I want you guys to know that we have a happy, beautiful, blessed family. And you know, not like I said, every family is that stereotypical image. There's two women sometimes that have beautiful families. There's gay men that have beautiful families. There's divorced families that still have beautiful families. So, you know, I really wanted to get that across to everybody because it's important to me that you guys know we are happy. We are not perfect. There are days I want to wring my husband's neck. You know, there are days when my kids, one's in a corner, one's writing sentences, and one is grounded from her phone. There are days like that. But overall, we have a beautiful family, and I know that. I have amazing sister-in-laws. I have an amazing sister down in Florida. I don't talk to her as much, but she is busy living her own life, growing up, and I really am proud of our family. I am proud of us. Is it always easy? No. But I want you guys to all take a moment and think about the blended families that you know that are just trying to get through every day like we are. And some of you guys would think that I'm a drug addict because I take Finagrin, or because I took a half of a Lortab 5 for my mom. I don't do drugs. My husband takes pain pills. We are not like in a doped up haze around here. It's not, it's not our home. And, I have struggled with depression. I have struggled definitely with anger management. I have a temper. I was raised in a home where you just don't take shit off people. You fight back. You stand up. You use your voice. That's the way I was raised. Ghetto, maybe. Maybe I am. Maybe I am a little bit trashy, you guys. I am never going to be this YouTuber who comes on here all dolled up all the time and acts like life is perfect. Another thing I wanted to point out about me personally in this reflecting video, because I still want it to be out there, is I hate no YouTubers. Some of these hate sites got me fighting with How Jen Does It and a lady named Bon Archie, I think. I have watched Jen for years. I have no trouble with Jen. Even if I didn't like a particular video of hers, I don't really want to point that out, but I want to say I enjoy, some of her videos. I enjoyed her videos more a few years ago than now, but I hate no YouTubers. I don't know how many times I've got to say this. We have commented back and forth. I have emailed How Jen Does It, and no matter what gossip site says I hate somebody, just know that I don't. This Bon Archie lady, I had never even heard of her until, reading on some of these sites. Well, I actually had to email her and apologize, and she's like, no, it's a family member of mine. But I want you guys to know I am loving the YouTube community. I love Candid Mommy. I love Jennifer Ross. I think she is a little quirky. Is that how you say quirky? But I still love her videos. I started out watching her organizational videos so many years ago. I love the Freckled Fox. I love... I kind of love Miss Goldie Girl, but I don't watch a lot of hers. I love the YouTube community, you guys, the commenters, the ones who watch these videos make my day. And you guys are so creative, so helpful, and from the bottom of my heart, I thank you every single day. Every time a new subscriber comes across my phone, I quietly say thank you. My channel is slowly building up, and I feel blessed because of that also. So that's my kind of questions. I mean, I know they were more like negative type of questions. Smoking, Brittany, Scott and I, when are we moving, Lord, child support, where so many people have these questions, and I would rather you ask them and you get the answers from me than reading some bullshit on a site. If you happen to come here from that site and have subscribed, thank you. Get to know us. Get to know us on your own. And don't worry about their bullshit. These are people that don't matter. And it's taken a long time for me to really understand that. I'm still fighting that because I want to speak up. I want to get on that site and say, here I am. These are the true answers, but what's that going to do? That's not going to do anything. They're going to call me a liar, and they're going to say I hate how Jen does it, and they're going to say I'm a terrible wife and mother, and my house is crazy terrible. But the truth is, we're happy, and I'm happy that I have you guys as subscribers, and I'm proud that you guys have stuck with us. I feel blessed, and I feel happy, and I feel better, and I've been sick forever, and I have been just feeling so bad that I've had to lay around and really focus on myself. And I'm trying to talk fast now because I know this video is going to be long, but I felt so bad here lately. I have missed talking to you guys. There will be a long blog post going over what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, what I'm smelling, what I'm looking at. That will be up when this goes live. You can head over to kjaggers.com. Check that out if you're interested in seeing more. I just threw my pin, but I am going to wrap this video up. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. Don't worry about negativity that you read about me. Come talk to me. Come send me an email. Let me address whatever you're feeling or thinking or wanting to know, and I'll give you the honest truth. I will not back down from people who hate me. I will continue to be myself, and I will talk to you guys very soon. If you're a new subscriber, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget, if you're not subscribed yet, I would love for you to get subscribed. Follow along on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I'm not on Twitter that much. My blog, all that stuff is linked below, and I will see you very soon.